Remember the 2021 July chaos?
Who have lost their lives in Gauteng and in KwaZulu-Natal.
Now, this is what is going on today. Hello my beautiful people, I hope you are well. So Duduzile Zuma-Sambudla appeared in Durban High Court over the July 2021 unrest charges. Take a look. Today, which is November 10th, 2025, Duduzile Zuma-Sambudla, daughter of former South African President Jacob Zuma, appeared in the Durban High Court as her trial over charges of terrorism and incitement to commit public violence officially commenced, okay? The charges are linked to the widespread unrest that erupted in July 2021.
Looting? Why were you looting?
Following her father's imprisonment for contempt of court, Zuma-Sambudla pleaded not guilty to all the charges, maintaining that her alleged social media posts were expressions of political resistance rather than deliberate incitement to violence. Okay? The July 2021 unrest shook South Africa, my people, particularly in the provinces of KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng.
It was a historic and momentous day for democratic South Africa to jail one of its former presidents.
The Minister of Justice and Department of Correctional Services, Ronald Lamula, has made it clear that the former President of South Africa, Jacob Zuma, will not receive any favoritism or preferential treatment while he's inside the Escort Correctional Center.
So he's in very good spirits, and I think he looks well and fine.
Why were you looting? Why were you looting?
Resulting in over 350 deaths, the looting of businesses, and extensive damage to critical infrastructure.
KwaZulu-Natal.
It represented one of the most severe episodes of civil unrest in post-apartheid South Africa, drawing attention both domestically and internationally. Authorities have alleged that Duduzile Zuma-Sambudla used her social media platforms to encourage rioters to engage in acts of violence and destruction, forming the basis for the charges of terrorism and public violence. The Jacob Zuma Foundation has vocally dismissed the charges as baseless and politically motivated, claiming that state institutions are engaged in an ongoing campaign of harassment against the Zuma family. The foundation described the proceedings as part of a broader attempt to undermine the former president and his family, framing Duduzile Zuma-Sambudla's prosecution as a targeted political attack. Supporters of the Umkhonto weSizwe MK party and other political allies are expected to attend the trial, which is scheduled to continue from November 10th to the 21st of November 2025. Legal analysts, my people, have noted that the case has far-reaching implications as it extends the ongoing legal scrutiny facing members of the Zuma family, highlighting the delicate intersection of politics, law, and social media influence in South Africa. Duduzile Zuma-Sambudla's defense is expected to argue that her social media, the posts she actually made, were actually constituted of freedom of expression and political commentary rather than maybe a direct call to violence. This argument, my people, places the trial at the center of a broader national debate over the boundaries of free speech. Also, boundaries of accountability and political dissent in post-apartheid South Africa. The trial is already drawing significant media attention. That's why allegedly is reporting on this, because there is public interest, both for its legal implications together with what many view as a politically charged prosecution. Analysts have also actually predicted that the proceedings could influence future cases involving the Zuma family, and they will be closely watched for any indication of state bias or prosecutorial overreach. Take a look.
A unique case for the NPA. What does this actually mean in terms of taking to social media and terrorism-related charges?
It's very unique in a sense that I think it's going to be the first time in which social media is used as a means of communication. Remember, in those charges that are here, we need active participation of one which is meant to incite, and but for that incitement will then cause people on the ground to move. That's going to be the nub in which the NPA would need to prove. Now, the defense will be, I post on a daily basis, I didn't instruct someone. They simply went on their own violation. I did not identify a certain space or a specific building in which they need to go to. It was simply a post and it ends there. So it's going to be a very difficult task from the NPA to then say, but for what was tweeted and what was written, the people acted on it. And on that basis, someone should be charged for that. Remember, again, when you go to a criminal matter, you have to prove beyond reasonable doubt that the person is guilty. In this case, on the element of causation, I think the state's case is a bit weak, but we have to wait up until we hear the evidence, and then maybe we'll take it from there.
Now, we're also going to look at the issue of freedom of expression, the limitations thereof. Tell us about the precedent that this might set for the country.
Our courts have had a very high standard when it comes to freedom of expression, to say that we are free to write whatever that we like, just as long as it does not infringe another person's right. So in this case, again, the problem is, tell me, how did my tweet cause people on the ground to move and cause the damage that they caused? That is what the NPA would need to prove as we are moving along.
And momentous day for democratic South Africa to jail one of its former presidents.
The Minister of Justice and Department of Correctional Services, Ronald Lamola, has made it clear that the former president of South Africa, Jacob Zuma, will not receive any favoritism or preferential treatment while he's inside the Escort Correctional Center.
So he's in very good spirits, and I think he looks well and fine.
Allegedly. Allegedly. Oh, allegedly. My people, my people, my people.